What the world needs now, come on, is love, sweet love. It's the only thing that there's just too little of. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. But for everyone, Lord, we don't need another mountain. There are mountains and hillsides enough to pass. There are rivers and oceans enough to cross, enough to last till the end of time. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. It's the only thing that there's just too little of. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. No, not for some, but for everyone. Lord, we don't need another meadow. There are cornfields and wheat fields enough to grow. There are sunbeams and moonbeams enough to shine. Oh, listen, Lord, if you want to know what the world needs now is love, sweet love. It's the only thing that there's just too little of. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. No, not just for some, but just for
Thanks all. Thank you very much.
So it's a closing for another awesome Art Barn concert. How do you feel?
Exhausted,
Oh,
spent, and just complete. Everything worked. It was everything came off better than expected. I think it was the best. Year 8 was the best so far. And again, it's the same thing. These Madison Art in the Barn Gypsy Swing Fest fans are to die for. There's nothing like them anywhere. And, they just show up ready to hear some great music, and the pressure is immense to keep finding great artists to bring back here. But there's a lot of great artists in the world, and our job is to get them into the barn. And this thing that we say about talking to artists and saying, well, you've got to see these people in Wisconsin. You've got to see these people in the barn and play for them. And everybody comes to me afterwards and just says, that might be one of the best gigs I've done in a long time. So, and as artists, it's easier to play when the energy in here and the people in here, it's a lot easier to play and put on a really good set. So it's just wonderful. So another one's in the bag.
yeah.
Cheers to that.
How did it all start for the influence to start this in general, like this whole Art Barn thing?
The barn started the Wail, Harmonious Wail travels quite a bit, and we were in Europe, and ran into Rob and Nolan in Amsterdam. They're playing on the street, and just started talking, and we said the same thing. You got to come and visit. You got to come and visit. And we stayed in touch, and he said he was coming over for a visit. And about the same time, the owners, Ann and Bill Konzemius, who own this farm, were all excited about it and brought us out to see their farm, and rolled back the doors, and there it was. We said concerts immediately. We just got to do concerts. And Bill, the owner, built the stage, and we rent chairs now. We started by letting people bring in big armchairs, and they put up the bales of hay, and put in fresh bales every year. And it's just been a real natural progression. So it started with a concert, just let's try this, and it worked beautifully. And then in essence, it's we've created a gig for Harmonious Wail. So at least we have one gig a year now we can count on.
Permanent gig.
Yeah, as long as we work hard enough for it. But what a gig it is! This is like our, it's turned into a real nice thing, and it's an invitational, and the Wail will play it every year, and some people say that they catch us here, and this is where they see the Wail. So we just love it.
Do you see more different gypsy swing artists in the future for the
Yeah, actually, it's a genre that seems to be growing, and once word gets out, and I think the word is out a little bit that this is a cool gig. People are coming to me, so spending time listening to a lot of CDs and picking, and again, the pressures. You have to pick a cool band, and I really take it seriously that people have entrusted me that they come here and they expect to be entertained, and I can't put on a bad show. I have to make sure that I hire really good players and listen, and it seems like we've even when the genre is stretching a little bit, we had a singer tonight and an accordion player. Don Sternberg came in the winter, and he was just a jazz mandolin player and really not that much of a gypsy player, but we're kind of stretching the genre of what is acoustic jazz and gypsy jazz influenced. And Django Reinhardt was such a powerful guy that he influences so many people, and we're really taking it as an influence. It doesn't have to be just a Django Reinhardt type band. Yeah.
And he displays many themes, kind of building new types of styles of music.
Yep. And his influence is phenomenal. How many people just adore Django, whether they're playing Django's music or not. So we're really, hinging on that. And it's just, great musicians, and it's our honor and our job to bring them and connect this great crowd to these great artists.
Was he a big influence for your band?
Oh, way, yeah, totally. Jethro Burns was my teacher, and he turned me on to Django Reinhardt. And it makes sense, as a mandolin player, Django's music makes a lot of sense. So we just kind of formed the band around that Django sound, kind of chunky, four to the bar, and then at the same time we let it go wherever it needs to go musically. So it always comes back to listening to Django, making sure we have, some gypsy swing repertoire. And we write our own songs, and some of it is not at all gypsy jazz. More folky or ethnic, or writing songs about Scotch whiskey. But it's undoubtedly highly influenced by Django. Yeah.
For you were talking about styles. Did you have that song with the Scotch? Was it an Irish bass?
Scottish.
Scottish bass. Okay.
Yeah, I was on the South Shore, so you could kind of see Ireland from there. But it was just a trip that we took, and it made sense to write this song in the style of the place. So other than being acoustic instruments, and I'm dyed-in-the-wool acoustic mandolin player. I mean, that's my voice, so it's always going to have acoustic elements to it. But there's really not a lot of gypsy jazz in that at all. So it's just
It's a different type.
I think it's a different type. And if you really pay attention to play from the heart, and rehearse, tune, that kind of stuff, and play from the heart. It's Neil Young who said, "All you need is 3 chords and the truth." So it's kind of in that one. As long as we're playing from the heart, it's just styles, and if you don't like a style, that's one thing. But if somebody's great at a style you don't like, you still have to admit they're great, and
True.
yeah. So the acoustic thing is, it is the Gypsy Swing Fest, so we still have to honor that. But we're talking about maybe opening up a third festival called Wail Fest, and that would allow us to hire bluegrass bands and folk singers, and so we can kind of move out of the genre. So we'll probably do that in June of 2013. Get that going. But
Exciting.
it is, yeah, it's fun, and it works. Go with what works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Glad you guys were here.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you stuck it out. Yeah.
It was amazing.
Oh, cool. Glad
I'm
you had a
honored
good-
to be here. So.
Well, cool.
Yeah.
So we'll have to get next time. It's a bunch of violin players. Okay.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Cheers.